Good evening, Mayor. Anthony Sposato, Washington Road. Mayor, I wanted to come out and speak tonight to pull the average age of a speaker in the public portion down from the 70s that you had mentioned at the last council meeting, though I know a 69-year-old resident who would bristle at being unfairly aged. You also know that 69-year-old resident, Mayor, he is the one who AI must have somehow blocked one of your biggest detractors from being able to email you. He's a concerned citizen whose participation at these council meetings predates your term and whose contributions have inspired residents in this borough to participate more, to pay more attention, to ask more questions, and to show up and understand the ways in which this borough functions. So, Mayor, knowing that you have said you are not here to answer questions, but also knowing that you or someone on your staff are actively blocking residents from participating through the means you suggested we use, which is to either call or email, and knowing, of course, that conservative Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote for the majority in saying that if a public official has authority to speak for the government, and that official purports to be acting within the authority, a public official runs afoul of the First Amendment in blocking a person. I think the public is owed an explanation of why you yet again exceeded the authority of a mayor in a weak mayoral system of borough government in blocking a resident's email. I think the public is owed an explanation of how many other residents are currently blocked. I think that information needs to be reported publicly. And what authority you feel you're given to muzzle a taxpaying resident's First Amendment right to free speech. Happy to pause my time while you answer. No?
Anthony, like many things, you got this wrong and you make false accusations. So let's straighten this out here. No, your time just rolls, Anthony. You want to ask silly questions, the clock keeps going.
Okay, I'll reclaim my time then, Mayor.
No, I'm going to answer it, Anthony.
I'll email the question for you so you can't eat into the time that the little
So
residents
the
are given.
business, had you been paying
Let me ask the Kennedy O'Brien
attention.
team
All right.
on this dais, those who identify as part of the
Anthony,
Kennedy O'Brien team
I
or
can
otherwise.
see you're getting
who
ready
are
for your run
reclaim
for
my time, Mayor.
council.
Thank you. Elected by
Right,
taxpayer, I'll
and-
reclaim my time. Thank you.
No, you won't.
Councilman Balka, Councilman Sonarski, Councilman Zabrowski, Khaleesi, Councilwoman Novak, do you believe it to be either ethical or legal for a public official to cut off a resident's ability to email elected leaders? I can't pause my time because the mayor will filibuster it. So, Council President Roberts, do you believe it to be either ethical
can't
or
do
legal for a public
cannot do
official to
that.
cut off a resident's ability to email
You
elected
cannot do
leaders?
that, Anthony.
Cannot do what, Mayor?
You cannot, and you cannot, this is not a cross-examination. It's not.
Oh,
a
sure,
court
but
of
it's
law.
public portion, so I'll continue on as my right. That's the problem with the mayor and this team. Mayor, while you do not have the legal right to block a resident, and while doing so seems to have opened us up yet again to legal liability as a borough, you do have other rights, even in a weak mayoral system. Mayor, you have the right to call residents dopey assholes. You have the right to take snipes at residents once the public portion has closed, even though your comments fall outside of the mayor's portion, which comes much earlier in the agenda. You have the right to attack residents and tell them that they are unliked or unpopular once public portion has closed. You have the right to say that residents are engaging in theatrics if they criticize you. All those rights are yours. And those rights also belonged to Vicky Kilpatrick. She had the right to do those things, and she didn't. She didn't insult the public. She listened to the public. And in doing so, she inspired residents to come out and participate more. She invited dissenting voices on her own dais to speak, to be heard on the record, even when they disagreed and even when that dissent came from within her own party. Because true transparency does matter. Mayor, you were quick last meeting to dismiss Councilwoman Novak's legitimate inquiries, and you invoked the name of former Democratic Party head Tom Pallando, a man who has been dead for 2 years, but you were right, and I'll say this on the record, you were right. He was tied to a lot of corruption in our borough, corruption that folks in my party have not always taken accountability for, but that is over. The Democratic Party in Sayreville owns those choices and understands the ways in which it made muddy water for all of us who are looking to make a difference and get more people involved. In acknowledging that past, we also look forward to be more transparent and welcoming. Mayor, do you or your team have plans to bring back Zoom participation so that veterans and our disabled residents are again able to participate? The Democrats want to do that and hope that you'll work with them. Do you or your team have any plans to spend a portion of the millions of dollars we've accrued towards protecting open spaces or green spaces in a borough that's become overcrowded, overbuilt, and overrun? The Democrats want to work with you on that. Will you work with them? Council President, I hope the next time that you get a text from your party chair telling you how to vote on an issue like you did when you changed your vote on the pride flag, I hope that that text message is to tell you to vote yes on historical designation for the firehouse, that our residents overrode you to save. I hope the next text you get from your party chair is to tell you to vote yes to restore Zoom participation for our veterans and disabled community. Sayreville deserves better than this, and I hope that interested residents, unconnected to the past and its baggage, will step up and decide to run to help make this borough the best that it can be. It is a big, important job to be done with care and consideration, and for those that understand that, I thank them.